Johnson, and welcome to the Toni Talk Show. My lovely guest today is J.D. Cooper. She's a poet, she's an author, she is a publicist. She published books for other individuals. She is so amazing. She works in the mental health field. She is one of the best kept secrets here in Chicago, and I'm very thankful to have an opportunity to speak with her today and learn more about her and share with you all. So, JD, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Toni.
Thank you so much for being here.
Mm-hmm.
So, tell us a little bit about your book.
Yeah, well, my book, I have several, and the one that I brought here today is a poetry book, and it's called All That Glitters Don't Shine.
Oh my.
A lot of people know me by that book, All That Glitters Don't Shine, and because I've been around the poetry circuit, speaking, doing spoken word, and most of the poetry that I've done out there and on the circuit is from this book, All That Glitters Don't Shine.
So, with a title like that, I mean, I can assume what it means, my meaning of All That Glitters Don't Shine, but what inspired you to name it that, and what was the inspiration behind that, and what is your meaning of that?
Well, you know, a lot of people can associate it with all that glitter ain't gold, right?
Yeah, all the shines not gold.
Right,
whatever,
and all that. So it just came to me, all that glitters don't shine. And it's like every kind of relationship or, you know, any kind of, you know, job or anything that you may think is just something that's so special on the outside.
Yes.
You have to look on the inside to really get the meaning and know what you're dealing with.
Okay.
Because all that glitters just don't shine.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, the glitters is not gold.
That's right.
All right. So I just wanted to make sure because we can always assume that, things we think could be correct, but it could be a whole different meaning to it. So I just wanted to clarify that, and that's exactly what I thought it meant. And I think that that's an amazing title, because I think in today we can go for that outer appearance so quickly and never ever get to the depth of what this person is about, or what their job is about, or what the situation that we're in about. We're just excited about what's happening now.
Yes.
And so that's an amazing thing that you've written that book. Now, you're self-published.
Yes.
And you also publish books for other individuals.
Yes. I also help people to write, publish, and sell their books. And I have a workshop that's called Birth That Book. And I have a little journal here that says that Birth That Book. This is the labor guide journal, but I also have a labor guide that walks you through birthing the book. I consider myself as a literary labor coach.
Okay.
So we're going to get that book out you, right?
Okay.
Get it out of your head so that
onto
you can
paper.
Right, onto the paper and into the hands of the fans who want to read your book and know your story and get the information that you have to share. Yeah.
And so many people have that amazing book inside of them.
Yes.
And it never gets birthed.
Yes.
So the fact that you assist individuals in birthing that book out of them, because we know there's only certain situations in life, and many of us share the same ones. So for those that may share the same experiences that you've had, and you've had a way of going through it, getting through it, and you share that with those other people that may not have gone through it yet or gotten through it yet, that's what I think is so important about sharing your story, individuals sharing their story, and unapologetically, just opening up of themselves to share with other people, to help, because that's why we're here, to assist God's people in being better. So that's amazing that you do that, and you're a coach. Yeah, and so, gosh, that's so good to know, and it's good for people to know that a young black woman is out there with her own company and assisting other people in doing what it is they need to do to help the world become a better place.
Thank you.
So what started you on that path of actually helping assist people write their own books?
Well, I actually wrote my own poetry book. I wrote a couple of them. I have All That Glitters Don't Shine, I have Autumn Leaves, and I'm working on a couple of more right now. I have other books that I've written as well. I teach people how, not only just how to publish, but I also have like writing guilds and things of that nature where people can come together and just learn how to publish and you know what it takes to get your book out into the hands of those who want to read it. And with that being said, I just was a poet, and I just wanted to write a book of poetry. I was told to, you know, I had to speak my own poetry because people would understand it better coming from me.
Yes.
And at one point, I didn't want to, speak the poetry. I just wanted to write books. And then I was encouraged by a very famous person. He invited me to come to Deaf Poetry Jam. And you know who that was, right?
Do tell.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
Everybody knows, yeah, Deaf Poetry Jam. Yeah, exactly.
And Russell Simmons.
Yes.
He told me to, come to New York and bring some books. And at the time, I didn't have any books. I just, was a poet, and I was just writing my stories and my poetry, and I didn't have a book. And so when he said that, I shifted my attention towards writing the book, and I bypassed Deaf Poetry Jam, but I did write a book. And once I wrote my book, All That Glitters Don't Shine, I was approached by other authors and people who were writing their own books and their own stories, and I was asked if I can assist them as well. I have the first book here, and it's called I Can, Yes I Can, Yes I Am, Yes I Will, So Can You, by Derek Phillips. Now he's blind and hearing impaired, and he wrote 2 or 3 books, and I've helped him publish his books and helped him with a lot of different things.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
but he's amazing. You know, all the people that I work with are just extraordinary. They have books, they have stories, they have lives that are just phenomenal. And this gentleman here is he's the superintendent of the blind school of Illinois, Acre Wood, and I think it's like in the South Loop or somewhere like that. And he helps all the blind students and that come to the school to learn how to read Braille and do a lot of amazing things.
How did you stumble over him? How were you fortunate enough to come in contact with him?
Well,
How'd that happen?
it was like down the pipeline. I knew someone who knew someone, and I just said, they were saying he's looking for some readers to, for someone to read things that he's written and stuff like that. I was like, sure, I'll do some reading for him. And then they was like, no, we don't want you to do reading. We want you to actually publish his book. I'm like, okay. So they were like, are you comfortable doing that? And I was like, yes.
So you became his eyes and ears.
Yeah, for sure. And I literally did not know that I was going to be publishing his book. But it was, an amazing opportunity. And I from that point, I was only publishing my own books.
Yeah.
But when he asked me to, that's how the company started. And I literally found out at that time that I was not doing this just for myself.
Exactly. It's amazing how life unfolds when you are open to embrace your calling.
Right.
And without any effort on your own part, you became this publisher by chance.
Right.
By doing it for yourself. And it just one step just led into the other. And that's when you open yourself and you're so free to do what it is that God has blessed you to do. Everything will just unfold. We were talking about that in one other show. Just keep taking those steps forward and watch it develop and come to pass, whatever it is that you want.
Yeah, because I just wanted to write my poetry and you know, do some spoken word every now and then, and you know, and that was it. Like one of my friends always say, well, it's not a hobby for you, Jay. You can't treat it like a hobby because this is really serious. And so I had to really get myself in a situation where I had to grow up and become a businesswoman. And that took a lot, you know, because I was like, I'm just a writer, you know. I don't want to sell books. And so I actually went to a entrepreneur course at my church at the time. I was going to church in Indiana, and the young lady who was running the course, she said, you just want to write a book. Okay, well, after you write that book, what you gonna do with it? She was like, are you gonna sell it? So I was like, sure. And then she said, well, then you're an entrepreneur. And I had to take a deep breath, like,
oh, Emma, I am.
yeah, wait a minute, did I sign up for that? You know, and so
I want to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Okay, let me research that, see what that entails, because I just wanted to be a poet.
yes. And when I come across people in my workshop, birth that book, and I tell them the same thing, I see the same reaction, and I crack up, like they were like, no, I'm just a writer. I don't want to sell a book.
Once you start selling books, you are an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Yeah, you have a business.
Yes.
And as I see, there's a variety of books that you
Yes, I've
publish.
published.
That's amazing. Look like you have a children's book there.
Oh yeah, I have several children's books.
You know, I aspire to do 2 children's books.
Okay. This young lady, a lot of people may know her, Benita Nicole Baker. She has Unlocked the Treasure, Discover the Princess Within. I helped her with this book. She had actually published it, and then I came along and cleaned it up for her, and it's beautiful. It's always a beautiful book. And then another children's book that it just came out last year, I believe. 2019. This came out. The Caterpillar Goes Shoe Shopping, and this is by Dorothy Gray. And this, you know, I was at Mather's More Than a Cafe, and I was doing the Birth That Book workshops over there. And then she came in and wanted a book published, and that's how I met her. So I advertised all over the place. And I really helped her to bring her story alive, and then you can see the vibrant colors.
Yeah, I was like the illustration.
Yeah, the illustration.
You assist them in their illustration and really bringing it to life.
Yeah, yeah. I assist them, and then I have to definitely help them to bring the story together, because you know you have an idea and don't know
exactly which direction to take it in.
Yeah,
all these ideas all over the place. Now that's important because. You have individuals that they just have ideas and they want to do the book.
Yes.
But they have no idea what the actual format is.
Yes.
And I mean, that is just an amazing business to have, because so many people have a book inside
yes,
of them.
they do. I think everybody
I think
everybody. If you have a story to tell, if you have had experiences in your life, you have a book.
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter. I think you mentioned earlier, Toni, that what if they have the same kind of journey?
Yeah,
I don't care if they have the same kind of journey.
I didn't say that's not what I meant.
Right.
That you can have a part of your journey in life that can be very familiar to me.
Right.
Okay? There's certain experiences in this world that we all, not everybody shares, but a lot of individuals share those same experiences.
Right.
You know, coming up as children, they may have been verbally abused by a teacher. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Or perhaps they, had some other experiences with parents or friends. And we share. Some people share those same experiences.
Yeah.
I may be in the middle of perhaps dealing with, let's say, taking care of an elderly parent. Okay? I may just be embarking upon that, and my parent is now elderly and they have to come into my home.
Yeah.
There's people out there. But there's people out there that has done that, taken care of their parents, completed the journey. The parents moved on to glory, and they have experience in that, where they have worked through it, they know how to go through it, get through it. So now here I am, a newbie at taking care of the elderly parent. I read their book,
Right here.
and there's all kind of good stuff in there that can assist me
Yes.
in understanding what that journey is going to be
Yes,
like. That's
yes.
what I mean. We
And-
all share a lot of the same experiences.
Yes.
So when we let that book come out, it can help so many people.
It can, and that's
So
exactly.
that's what I meant by it.
and that's what I meant as
Yeah.
well. So that's why I brought it up,
Yeah.
because when you say that, because a lot of people will tell me, you know, they already have a book out there about that, but your story is your story. Your
Yep.
story is different.
It's unique.
Each story is unique.
It's unique.
And each story is just like a fingerprint. It's different than someone else's. It's not the same.
And your way of handling the same situation someone else had could
Right.
be different.
Exactly.
And you may want to take heed to the way you handled it. Maybe the other person handled it differently, so
Right.
you don't want to do that. So you got to share
Yeah.
that information.
And that's where Vivian Brazil, she was just speaking at another event yesterday. So she's all over Chicago, and her book is called "I Just Want to Share," and she's talking about her elderly mom and helping her with the financial
Yes.
situations of their home and stuff like that. And now that her mom has passed on, her second book is coming out, and it's called "I Want to Share More." So now she's gonna
And that's
share
so
some more.
important. So many men and women at a certain age is now dealing with the care of their elderly parents.
Yes. Mhm.
So
Yeah,
actually, I have a show about that.
Okay.
You want to hear it, here you go. But yeah, so it's just we share all these experiences in the world, and if we can't assist each other in moving through these times, that's a great thing that you have going on.
Thank
it really
you.
is.
Mhm.
So I don't want to put you on the spot, but sometime during this interview, you're going to have to give us a sample of that poetry.
Oh no, it's not a problem.
Your hand.
Yes. Yeah.
So, now, is there anything else that's exciting that's going on right now that you'd like to share with us about?
Well, yes, of course.
Okay, so, of course.
So, I was mentioning to you earlier that my company was called Jazzy Creations Publishing Service, and I thought that fit me very well because
You're Jazzy.
yeah, and I love to create. So it and then as you can see, I really take a lot of pride in the books because I call
Yes.
these the ultrasounds. If you're gonna birth your
Babies.
books,
Yeah.
and the proof is I make everybody give me what's the name of your title of your book, what it's about. So let's do your cover first.
Okay.
And so your cover is pretty much like your ultrasound to
Yeah.
prove that you are gonna birth that book.
Oh, wonderful.
And so
Great metaphor.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And so, with that being the case, we have the birthday book, workshops and stuff like that, and that was all under the umbrella of Jazzy Creations.
Jazzy Creations, yeah.
Yes. So last year in 2020, we did create our LLC. And we registered ourselves as JC Publishing. So now we're launching our new website for JC Publishing.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So I know that website is www.jcpublishings.com. Yeah. So
Great. Want to say that one more time?
sure. www.jcpublishings.com. Publishings with an S.
Great,
Yes.
great. Amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of it. It's coming together very well. And the reason why that's so exciting to me is because I literally sat down with a designer and pretty much designed it myself, and then had them to recreate it onto the computer into the website. And she really didn't want to do it that way, but that way worked best for me because I've had several websites designed, and they never expressed who I am.
Exactly.
So doing it the way that I know how made me excited, actually.
And I always say, who better can describe you and what is in your head other than yourself?
Exactly.
I see a lot of people want to take over and put together what they think you may be thinking or what they think you want to convey. But no one can write your story going back to that, the way
Yes,
you can write it,
that's
because
right.
it's yours, and no one can bring to fruition the ideas that's in your head other than you.
Exactly.
And that's a true leader. That's a true leader that can take charge and say, this is how I want it, and not even hesitate and to let someone else take over what their vision is. So
Yeah.
that's a leader.
Thank
That's
you.
what you call a leader.
Thank
And
you.
no one can describe you better than you.
Yeah. Like I tell a lot of people, because I love writing autobiographies.
Okay.
And so a lot of people come and they want to write their biography. And I tell them, well, who better to write your or tell your story than you?
Yes.
So, you know, you don't want to wait. You know, you've done some amazing things, and I know that there are some amazing people in this community. So who better to tell your story than you? So we're looking for anybody who want to write their biography, and we're giving a special for those people too, because we want to be known as the best storyteller of you. You know.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And so, with all of that being said, we have become JC Publishing, and we have several books that's under our umbrella. We have, like you said, children's books. We have biographies, like Derek Phillips's book. We have like these here, this one and another one back here. These are actual people who were in my workshop and wrote a book. I didn't necessarily
You didn't publish that one,
publish
but
it,
that's
some
of the work that came out of where you were even trained
to
the workshop.
deal with this one, and then we have children's books that
Yeah, I'm looking at that one because it's the biggest one.
yeah, this is the biggest one. This is
And hardback.
yeah, hardback. So
Yeah.
that's another one of our known authors that wrote their book, and
So,
just to
usually-
show the type of things that we
Usually,
write.
how many individuals are usually in the workshop?
Well, it depends, because you know, now that we have Zoom, I can
Yeah.
have 100 people. in
Oh,
my
okay,
workshop.
200.
Well, I don't know about 200, but I know.
But yeah,
that
it's no
I can-
limit really.
I don't know. You have to have a certain package, Tony.
Oh
And-
yeah, to get to over the 100. I forgot. I think it's, what's the stop with Zoom? Is it 100?
Yeah, I think my package is.
And then you
100.
have to pay.
Well, no, I.
Oh, you did pay?
Yeah.
It's a certain amount that you can have without paying.
Well, I
Maybe
think that's
that's
like
50 or something.
I don't know.
Whatever.
But you only
But
can
100's
have
good. 100 is
have
good.
like an 40 minutes or
Yes,
45 minutes.
exactly. You got to cut it before an hour.
Yeah, yeah, something like that.
So you have it whereas it's
it's unlimited time.
unlimited time. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So if someone was interested in a workshop, how would they find out?
Well, they can find out at
the website?
At the website.
Okay.
Exactly.
When the next one is?
So
going to
the
be-
next one is going to be in March. We don't have the actual date, but we're planning for it to be in March. And I would have to. I know that we already have like 25 people already registered in that course, and that's because we are working. We partner with different organizations because JC Publishing is also the publisher for different companies and businesses and small publishing houses that want to offer books. Like if you like so. Say for instance, you are a coach, a life coach, and so you may want to
A training manual.
a training manual or
Just
something like
information
that. Yeah.
booklet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can say that you are a self-publisher, but you don't have to publish that book. Then you would contact me, and you would be under my umbrella
Okay.
as a self-publisher.
Okay.
But we'll do all the work, and even ghostwrite it too.
Okay. All right. Well, I think I told you early on when we met that I do have a workbook journal that goes along with the CD for the grief, the 5 stages of grief and the loss of a loved one, called Love Speaks. And I did self-publish that for sure myself. I had no assistance. But I would like to kind of, take it to another level. So I'm definitely interested in, like I said, I want to do a couple of children's books because I believe that a lot of our influences and things like that are embedded into our subconscious come from our childhood.
Yeah.
And if I can in any way help a child understand some of the things that may happen to them, that it's not about them, it's about these individuals that are in control of them.
Yes.
And help them through that. And that's why I want to do it on a children's level.
Yes.
To help shift some of that even before they become adults.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And recognize that it's not them.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
So
That's important.
you have such an amazing dynamic personality.
Thank you.
And I would like to kind of ask you, how would you describe yourself as a person,
Well, I would describe myself.
what do you stand for?
Yeah, I stand for, similar to you, Toni. I stand for people knowing who they are. I stand for people empowering people.
Yes.
I think you said it once before, or if it wasn't you, it was someone who said, "Iron sharpens iron."
Well, yeah,
And
that's a big one.
yes,
And it does. It
yes. And so with me, I love to be trained and developed in personal and professional training and development. And with that being said, I like to share all that with the people that I meet. And not to say that anybody need anything or there's something wrong with anyone, but to say that there's another level. Every time you meet one level, there's always
another one.
Yeah, because you can expand yourself.
Yes, you can.
There's always more. There's always something else. I started out writing poetry, and then after that, I started looking for a job, and I was told by one of the case managers or assistants over at the Chicago Urban League that I can work for a publishing house, and at the time it was a publishing house called African American Images, and I worked for Dr. Jawanza Kandushu as a editor with him, and I worked with him, and he taught me everything about publishing, because he said, you should not work in a publishing house and not know every aspect of it. So I worked in the bookstore, I worked in the publishing house, and I worked as an editor. I did a lot of different things and wore a lot of different hats. But so did Dr. Kanjufu, because he was amazing.
And you did the work.
Yes.
You did the work to build to where you are now.
Yes.
On every aspect of it.
Yes. And so after learning how to do it and things of that nature. At the time, I didn't edit when I first did the Birth That Book workshop. After that, I did the Birth That Book workshop, because people kept coming to me and they were like, it costs that much, and I have to do all of that, and this is my first story, and I tell them to rewrite it, because normally your first story is just a first draft, and guess what? First drafts it's not destined for an audience. The first draft is destined for the garbage can.
It's what it is called, a rough draft. It's rough.
Exactly.
You got to clean it up, chop it up, put something in, take something out.
Yes.
It's just a rough draft of a book. You ain't done nothing.
Right.
Not yet.
Yeah, you did something.
You did
about
something.
Getting it out of your head, putting it onto that
it
paper.
definitely
Now we gotta
takes a
clean
lot
it up.
more.
Yeah, and polish it up.
Clean it up.
And,
Yes.
and make it ready for the
public.
For the public. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So anything you have coming up, like you said, you have a workshop coming up. You can find out about it on the website.
Yes. And also, I have a Writers Guild.
Okay.
And with the Writers Guild, I have a book here, because what we do is we meet as a group of writers, and we will write something every week or every month, however we determine our meeting, and how long and how much content we want to have. So this is an anthology. So, and with this anthology, I actually worked with another company called Pop Writers Guild, and I was one of their guild masters, and I was also the editor and the publisher. So, like I said, I wore a lot of hats. And when things start to open up for you, you start to expand. You start to really use all your creativity, all your skills, and all your training.
That's when things line up.
Yes. And so I did Layers of Life. We helped them to create a gorgeous cover. They had their own artists, but they needed me to wrap the book. There's certain things that they wanted, And to wrap this book, I had to learn fast on how to do all of this graphic design.
So you're just a one-stop shop.
Well,
Pretty much.
pretty much, and,
yeah.
and I learned how to do it all because I really wanted to. I really love graphics design, and I wanted to learn how to do that. But of course, I didn't start all of this by myself.
Yeah.
I also had a designer working with me by the name of Bert Coleman, and he has an eye for graphics designs, and he's amazing. So he helped me a lot with all designing the covers and teaching me how to do what I do. Okay. So now I design the covers.
Okay, great.
And it's only because when I sit down with you, you and I have such a connection and a rapport. I can design that cover because I know what you want. I know exactly what would
I share with you what I want. Now you go bringing in a third party. That could be, a little off. So, I think that's I said one-stop shop because you don't have to bring in a graphic designer. You don't have to bring in a proofreader. You don't have to bring in an illustrator.
I do it all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can get it all done, and I think it makes it more affordable and less stressful because everything is right there that you need in one spot.
That's true, and that was the idea when I helped to publish this book. But since then, I have gotten other graphics designers. I got other proofreaders. I got other editors, because even though I can do it all and I know how to do it, I think I'm best utilized with assisting with other areas, and then having my team help me, because I have a lot of orders and a lot of books coming in now, especially since the pandemic. I think people was at home writing stories.
Okay. and even even with the one-stop shop, one of the things that I really meant is we can come to you and you make sure it's all done within one.
One
you
company.
Can take care of all that within one company.
Yes. For sure.
And I'm sure under your supervision and under your way of doing things, you've already kind of have a group around you that you guys have the same vision in mind. So if I tell you how I want it, you can convey that directly to your group that you've trained or that is like-minded to do this those projects. So you don't have to go anywhere else. Just bring it right to you, pay the money, get it all done.
Yes. From conception to birth. Yes. So that's what I've always said. And now we do websites too, because some of the people that work with me,
they need that to go with their book.
They do, and so we give them a one-page website with which is to sell their book and sell themselves as a speaker as well. So I tell people to get ready. If you're an author, you're going to be a speaker.
You're going to be a speaker.
Yes.
You're going to get called on. So, J.D. Cooper, we're going to come into a close, but I don't want to come to a close without seeing some of your amazing writing ability and talent as a poet, because that's important as well as your company, because that's the root. That's the root of it. So what would you like to share with us? Something inspirational that encourages people.
When you realize that you are despised and you don't know the reason why the enemy wants your demise, don't you let a tear drop from your eyes. You have to hold on to the blessed truth, remembering things that you learned from your youth, knowing that you are loved and where your blessings come from, even if you seem to be the only one. This is dedicated to my enemies. I can't help that you don't like me. I can only thank you for what you've done, because out of me, look what you've brung. A spirit that won't drown or die, one that won't sit down and cry, a forgiving heart that loves all mankind, a woman who can write beautiful rhymes, a loser who will now fight to win, an enemy who's willing to be your friend, someone who won't be intimidated no matter how much she is hated. You try to steal my joy, my life, my happiness, still I love you despite of this. But when you open up your hands and find nothing to hold, that's when you'll realize that God is in control.
I love it.
Thank you.
So powerful, so powerful. And one of the shows earlier we were talking about how, there are people out there that just refuse to support you, refuse to put good energy toward you.
Right.
But it doesn't matter. And I talked about how it doesn't matter. You just do what it is that God designed you to do. And that energy and that support will come.
Yes.
And what I heard in that poem is like, don't worry about anything.
Right.
You just become stronger from someone else's disgust of you, or if they have a problem with you, you become strong.
Yes.
Because you can't do anything, but you do what you're supposed to do, and everything else, God will take care of the rest.
That's right.
Am I right? So this is J.D. Cooper today. It was such an honor to have you, and I hope you all learned some good things, and I know I did. And just to sit along a young black woman that's an entrepreneur, that's helping assist people in birthing their life stories, and with her publishing company, and as an artist herself, an author, it's just amazing how you just sort of stumbled into your destiny.
Yes.
But when it's your destiny, you have no choice but to just, everything just parlays right into it. So I thank you so much for being here, J.D. Cooper, and it was a pleasure.
Thank you.
And you guys look out for her.
Thank you.
Enjoy the class.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm Toni Gallatin, and this is the Toni Talk Show.